why is all this stuff going on with these gaming companies right now? I mean, this is getting ridiculous. Like Sony, what are we doing? Sony, what are we doing? If you're looking at this title right here, it says Sony will not release any new major existing PlayStation franchise titles before April 2025. You gotta understand that is 14 months away. That's 14 months away that we're not getting anything. So you gotta tell me that we're not gonna get anything in the spring. We're not gonna get anything around September, where a lot of games like to come out around September and the Christmas holiday. Like, what are we doing here? Now, that doesn't mean no games are coming out. I mean, you're gonna have some games like from other, third parties or whatever. But Sony got some hard hitters that, they just, I guess a lot of this stuff came out a year or so ago. And whatever they got coming in, soon is just, well, soon is just gonna be, next year, 2025. I'm kind of not too worried about this because, like, look, I got a big backlog, but I'm just looking out for other gamers who look for games to play. Because, like I said, there's a group of gamers that just go out, play a game, get the story mode out the way, and go to the next game. They really don't care about finding games to play. They just want to play a game, and they want these releases to come back to back to back. They want a new experience all the time. Like, they may have a backlog, but I mean, it's like they don't care. Like, if they didn't beat it in the first 2 months, they're done. So you're gonna have a group of people I expect to be a little upset about this, because, like, yo, why do I have a PS5? Like, some people gonna be like, they had their PS5 for what, like 3-4 years now, like half the generation. And to be quite honest, it's been a little lackluster. Like, you're not missing much if you kept your PS4. Like, a lot of these games came out on the PS4 at the same time, and the PS4 Pro is still, I believe, it had a lot of untapped potential, or how far that console could go. Because I don't know if any developers are going to actually try to push the limit of the PS4 Pro. I think that console actually, if you make games to be optimized for it and actually run on those consoles, I think you can get a lot out of them. It's kind of similar like what you saw at the end of the PS3 cycle, or even with the PS2, or definitely you saw it in, if you're as old as I am, if you saw like the NES and Super NES, like those late games, like the late part of their generation, you saw some incredible games come from the Super Nintendo. Like that 95, 96, some of those Super Nintendo games was like great. So, but you just don't have a situation here where those consoles haven't been pushed to the limit. So if you have a PS4, you basically got something that's just sitting there with, a lot of untapped potential. And you could probably say the same for the Xbox. I think the Xbox in general, even the Xbox 360, like all of their consoles just had a lot of untapped potential. But I'm going on a tangent. Like, what are you doing with the PS5 now? And people are talking about a pro system and all this other stuff. I just think at the end of the day, what's happening is you have a lot of companies with like first party titles. They're trying to make these over the top big budget games, and some of these games are just not ready to go because they cost so much, and or they just aren't ready. I mean, that's just what it is at the end of the day. Like, I remember, back, just a couple of generations ago, PlayStation 3, they were kicking out games like this. And it's one of the reasons why they were one of the top consoles. I think they were number 2 that generation. Even, it was just, I think that last generation, that seventh, what was it? Yeah, the 7th generation, where you actually saw games being kicked out like crazy. Now, the PS4, the Xbox One, they really didn't do what they did that previous generation. And this generation here is just, it's kind of shot. It's kind of shot when it comes to like back to back, really good top of the line games. And I'm not saying that the games are bad. It's just that you're not getting them consistently. And now with what they're doing with Sony, they're not no major existing title. So you're just in a gap right now where you may not have nothing really big that come from the Sony first party studios. Like I said, it's not the end of the day. It's not anything crazy, but it's something to think about. It really is. You want a situation where you have your games and you're able to play them from the console you buy them from. So between this and now what you got with Xbox, what they're going to be doing with their upcoming the podcast, which I'm going to be talking about that on the next video because that should be coming up any day any hour now. You should you should be a little disappointed. You should be a little disappointed. I mean, I have a PS5, and the games I play on it, I could be playing it on my PC. Some games I felt that they were definitely just meant to be on PlayStation, like Tekken. I've always looked at Tekken weird when I saw it on the 360 because it started out on PlayStation. So I always looked at it like that. Like there's some games I buy just for Xbox, that are third party. Like when the Shenmue games came out, yeah, I remember those. I remember that being on the original Xbox, Shenmue 2, and then it came out for PlayStation. I'm like, why is the third installment of this game on PlayStation 4? It's like I don't. It's an Xbox game. It's a Dreamcast Xbox game to me. So there's just some games that I would just play on certain consoles because I'm comfortable playing them on that console. It started out like just like Metal Gear Solid. Just another one. I will play that. The Metal Gear Solid 5. I'll play that on my PlayStation. It's just what it is. I don't know. It's for me. I don't have an allegiance to any of these consoles. I mean, I know you see the original Xbox stuff behind me. I love that console. If there's any console that I am closest to being a fanboy for, is that 2001 Beast, man. I love it. It was my go-to console, and it's kind of still is to this day. But when it comes to other consoles, I'm like, look, if the game is good, I'm gonna play it. I mean, I prefer to play more of my sixth generation stuff on the original Xbox, but there's some great games on the PS2. I mean, where do we start? And do I need to talk about the Dreamcast? But I just think at the end of the day, y'all, it's just gonna be disheartening just to know that you bought this console and there's gonna be this big of a gap, but not first party titles. Like you could have really invested in a PC, and I'm not telling people what to do with their money, but you could have really just invest in a PC and just play these third party titles. And if you buy a decent PC or you build a decent PC, it can outperform the PS5, without question. But I mean, at the end of it, I just put it like this: if you're going to be disappointed with what's going on, you may, if you don't already, you may just want to have different options of gaming. Like just have a more than I recommend just have more than two consoles. And I'm not just saying have a Xbox and a PlayStation. I mean, Xbox, PlayStation, and a Switch, or you just build a PC on top of the two other consoles, because you'll always have a flow of games to play. Like that's one thing I love about people who collect games, and I'm talking about seriously like collect games to play them, not collect them to put them on the shelf. I like people who have those types because they always have something to play. They will never have a situation where they're just, oh man, I'm in a freeze. I don't know what to do. That's why I kind of look side-eyed at people who just play a game and beat them in a week and they have nothing to do until the next game come out. And they don't really expand their horizon. But you just got people like that. But nevertheless, I'm going to get out of here. I think I talked enough. What do you guys think about this? Sony will not release any new major existing PlayStation franchise titles before 2025. What are you doing? WTF? What is going on? You guys got to get better, man. I mean, this is we want these games out here, so hopefully they'll get that together. But I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all have a good night. Peace.